Hello and welcome to episode 22 of Rival Banter. I'm one of your hosts, Luke Croft, and joining me, not as always, a unique special guest for me this week, my esteemed co-host, the Seth Martin, Larry Hunt. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing good. I think I just received another phone call from prison.
They've been trying to get you in there for a while.
Dude, I don't know what it is. So I don't know if it's like the same guy continues to get in trouble or if it's like a ring of people who, or just like this one guy runs in a crowd of people who like all get in trouble or something. But I routinely get calls asking for a guy named BJ from somebody who ends up in like Henry County Jail, but this one is like from the prison around Henry County, which is, obviously the county I grew up in. Obviously, my name is not BJ. And these people are just calling someone to no avail. And I feel bad, but it's like, I'm not going to accept charges.
Yeah.
For phone calls. You ever had someone from prison call you, Larry?
No, actually. Not one time.
I'm going to be honest. That's shocking.
Spilling the family tea on the podcast. I've had
whoa. It could have been anything. It could have been just someone you randomly knew who's been in a lot of trouble. You're the one who had to bring the connection back.
Just doxing myself. I've had phone calls from police officers and detectives, but never from the prison itself.
Anyway, for the regular listeners wondering why Seth is not here with us, Seth is at the beach. He is
because he hates Luke and doesn't want to do this anymore.
I mean, he hasn't said otherwise, so we'll see if he shows back up next week. But he's catching some rays down at the beach with Luna Snow, and he is the thong. Down at the beach. So, but no, I'm very excited to have Larry here with us. If you guys know us from our old Player 3 podcast or PVA radio days, he was one of our co-hosts on those shows as well. Larry joining us today. Thanks for taking the time to hang out with me and talk a little bit of Marvel Rivals.
Oh, it is my pleasure.
How's your week been going, my friend?
Pretty good. I'm by myself at the house this week, so as a parent, that doesn't happen often. So I've been sleeping a lot. It's been really cool.
I know. 3 kids all gone away, and when's the last time you think you like had an extended time alone? It's probably been
half a decade.
I was going to say it's been years. Probably, I'm sure. Also, Larry's a streamer. He hasn't been streaming recently, but if you're watching over on the YouTube, you probably notice his camera looks a lot better than Seth does. Well, Larry, why don't you tell people a little bit about yourself, what it is you play, and what you used to stream, your plan for possibly getting back to streaming, that sort of stuff.
Okay, yeah. So I was primarily focused on Apex. I loved Apex Legends. I'll get back to streaming one day, but my stream is basically Apex Legends and horror games. I loved playing a scary game as well. And we love donuts on my stream. So
yeah, I was going to comment on
days we're giving away donuts and such. Yeah, dude, I love Krispy Kreme.
I haven't been to a Krispy Kreme in a while. I do have a Dunkin' like right down the road from my new place. So
Dunkin' is hit or miss. Like if you're up north where it started, it's all hits. But the further south you get, the worse it gets.
I went by a couple weekends ago. Well, I think it was like my first or second weekend here. And I guess it was for the 4th of July. They had like changed all the shapes of their donuts to a star. And it just like made the donut overall worse.
Like, yeah. I got a Boston cream from there.
Yeah.
That was all it does is like just consolidate the filling to this one tiny little area with a bunch of dry points.
Yeah, it turns all the edges into just like weird, crusty, hard edges. So yeah, I don't know if the CEO of Dunkin' is one of the listeners of our show, like just stop.
I'll let him know.
Okay, I appreciate that. This is Rival Banter. We get together every week over here. We normally we've been doing streams, but since I moved, we haven't been doing that. But we talk about everything Marvel Rivals, and then we push it out on podcast services everywhere on Wednesdays. You can also check us out over on YouTube. Just search up Rival Banter. And you can find us on social media on Instagram and TikTok at Rival Banter. And wherever you're watching us, listening to us, we love you. We appreciate you. Make sure you're hitting that follow button, leaving comments, liking, all that sort of stuff. So we're going to get to the user comments here in just a second. But yeah, a little bit of housekeeping. Seth is out of town this week, but never fear, he will be back next week. And, when we originally started this show, Larry was kind of on the fence about playing Rivals with us, and he was playing a little bit, but not quite as much as Seth and I was. And I was like, "Hey, man, just so you know, you've always got an open seat over here on the podcast with us because I love podcasting with you, and that offer still extends. So this is probably not the last time you're going to see Larry show up on this show, but yeah." Go ahead.
And it's only going to get more offensive every time I arrive.
Yeah. At some point, if we were bleeping words, Larry would just be one long bleep.
Yeah.
So, Larry is an OG in the podcast sphere. I mean, Player 3 podcast back in the Destiny days. I mean, talk about podcasting with someone offensive. We had a co-host on that show who we just regularly we had to regularly go back and be like, all right, got to take that out. Took that
not joke. That kind of offensive. I was just going to make fun of the game.
Yeah. But yeah,
that's a fun show. One time I had to leave early while we were live streaming. I had to leave early because I was bleeding.
It was like episode 4. It was like really early on. We were still in like my kitchen, and you were eating a sucker, and like that's the first mistake. So you kind of had it.
Yeah. You're not wrong. I hate suckers. I don't even know why I was entertaining this candy list.
The whole concept of a sucker is gross because it's just like flavoring your spit over and over and over again.
Said that.
It's like constituting your spit repeatedly. So, but yeah, if you guys hate Larry, just leave that in the comments and we'll never invite him back. But let's get to the viewer comments here. We posted up a bunch of videos over on our TikTok and Instagram at Rival Banter. And we got some replies to those comments, and we're going to respond to those. If you guys want your comments responded to, make sure you're commenting on our videos or on the podcast over on Spotify, those kinds of things. So let's see. Yeah. So the first video that I posted was kind of about the uniqueness, not the uniqueness necessarily, but about how Phoenix's ult seems way more powerful visually and audibly than it is like in its damage effect necessarily. But I also talked about in that video how not every DPS ult needs to be like a 5k every single time you use it, right? And Jake the Guy 01 said, I agree with this. As a strategist main, I feel the same. When people complain about the healing output of, say, Ultron, when each character is meant to fit a different part of the role. Her normal DPS is her main damage, and her ultimate marks everyone it doesn't kill as well. It just requires more follow-up, and when paired with other ults, can be devastating, say breaking Loki lamps and shields before a Punisher ult. Now, Larry, you are a Psylocke main, but you've been playing a lot of Phoenix since she came out as well. What's kind of your assessment of her ult, and how have you been utilizing it?
I think you're right. Like the visual appearance of this ult makes it look like it's going to demolish your team when it lands on you, and that's not what it does. It does some damage, but I think the real utility is in shutting down additional abilities that the characters have. So I think she's great against Penny when she's got all those stinking spiders laid down. She's great against taking those Loki healing areas down. And there does need to be some follow-up for sure. So it is an ult. If you're playing a game like this well, you're pairing your ults anyway. But Phoenix absolutely has an ult that has to be paired with something else. It needs to mix.
Now, I've played probably 3-4 games with Phoenix since she's come out. Now, do you find yourself kind of initiating fights with the ult for that follow up to come with the rest of your team, or are you doing it kind of where like you're softening up the targets and then using that after the fact to kind of finish it up? I feel like it takes a long time to kind of cast, so that might not work.
Yeah, I've done a little bit of both. I've been depending on the team, and for the most part, I've been stuck in quick play because we're on different systems and we can't rank together, which is stupid if the CEO of Netties is listening. Uh, but
Way less relevant than the Dunkin' Donuts CEO, by the way.
yeah, fair. I think primarily I've been using it as an initiation ult, though. I'm thinking about times where an enemy team has the point locked down. If I've got a team that's organized and I know there's going to be follow through, that's how I'll use it. Otherwise, I'm softening some people up. I'm getting a few targets marked, and then I'm dropping that ult on top of them and trying to follow up on my own ult.
Yeah, I think the like stacks of her passive is a really big deal, right? You can kind of get the fight started off right by getting that initial stack onto people. But I think to the larger point of the video and to the larger point of what Jake's kind of saying in this comment here is just that like there needs to be a good array of kind of what the strengths and weaknesses of a hero's kit is, and like in the DPS category, some characters, their primary fire is going to be their main source of damage. Some characters are going to rely a little bit more heavily on their cooldowns, and then some characters are going to rely heavily on their ults. And I think Rivals kind of, especially in the strategist category, really kind of fell into this trap where so many of the strategist ults are just like hit Q, make team immortal, right? Where it's like
Yeah.
everybody just kind of expected that all the strategist ults in the game should work like that. So when you get a guy like Ultron in the game, it feels a lot weaker because it doesn't do what all of the other strategist ults do. And I think to a certain extent, Phoenix is kind of the same way. Like you have so many really powerful DPS ults in this game that are 4 or 5K potential every time you cast them, and Phoenix's doesn't really feel like that. There's too many brain dead DPS players that just like don't read the notes and realize the utility that's on top of just the damage that her ult is able to do, right?
Yeah, you're right. DPS players are rarely thinking about anything more than just maximizing eliminations. So
Yeah, just their stats, right?
yep.
They're like, look, it doesn't add to my damage, doesn't add to my KD. Like, who gives a fuck about destroying regenerative fields? So, then Daniel Fritz 5 says she's honestly kind of mid. If there aren't 3 enemies close enough to each other, her passive is kind of strong at best, and her actual damage is pretty low. Speaking of brain dead DPS, oh, by the way, Larry, we roast our viewers during this time too. Sometimes, like we don't really hold back. If somebody says something dumb, we let them know they said something dumb. So,
well, this is the time.
Yeah, the whole like her actual damage is pretty low part is the main thing. It's like I feel like she has a pretty high damage yielding kit. No?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I'm just gonna pick that apart a bit. First off, I think a lot of people who have tried to play Phoenix, just from what I observed when I didn't get to insta lock her, was you have to be a decent marksman to use this character. You have to be accurate. You have to be able to hit your shots. And if you can't, you are going to have a low DPS output with this. But if you're hitting your shots, it's good damage. And especially if you're hitting headshots, because you get bonus marks on the person when you hit the headshot. So if you can hit a couple of headshots on a Jeff, I think it's only like 2 headshots and another body shot, or maybe just 2 headshots. You can insta kill a Jeff. Like
Yeah,
it's a yeah.
sorry, this is kind of Ben Shapiro hearing wet ass pussy and thinking that, and telling on himself by being like, if that is what your experience with that is like, then you've only experienced a diseased one. It's like, no, you've just never turned your wife on, Ben. I apologize. Like, sorry, Daniel Fritz. If you think that Phoenix's damage is low, it's because you are unable to hit shots.
Yep. So if you play her, you're noticing low damage. I want you to look a little lower at the percentage accuracy. And what you're probably going to see is something under 40, maybe even under 30%.
Oh, I was going to say single digits.
The other thing I take issue with in this comment is if there aren't three enemies close enough to each other, like any team that's any good is going to be rolling together in most circumstances. So it's actually really advantageous that you are actively discouraging them from staying close to each other, I think.
I think this is also kind of partly an issue with the way that NetEase puts together the trailers for their characters. And it's because they tend to showcase character abilities in what appears to be real games by showing scenarios that are never going to happen in actual games. So, like, if you go back and you watch that Phoenix trailer, you're going to see like 5 or 6 characters just kind of lumped together in a choke or whatever, and she does like massive damage with her stuff. And so they kind of create this expectation that like the AoE damage on this character is going to be insane and all this stuff. And like the AoE is good on her, but it comes only as a result of being able to hit shots with her, right? You gotta be able to stack her passive in order to get some of that AoE damage. So but no, I take issue with that too, just also because of what we were saying before. Like it's not an ult designed to like 3K when you get the team down. Like it's not like an Iron Man ult, you know, like you're not looking
Yeah.
for the cluster to just kind of wipe the team. You're using it to create a scenario to follow up on.
Yeah. And the other thing that this is leaving out is every time she causes one of those explosions, she starts healing. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a great ability for a DPS player to have, especially if you're one of the many brain dead DPS players who doesn't know where the health kits are.
Do you get healing stats for her? I haven't
Yeah.
noticed. Okay, I don't know why I've never looked at that column for her. So that, I mean, I guess that makes sense. So
Yeah, I'm putting up like 30k healing a game. That's a lie.
okay,
Lie.
I was like, okay, I'm just gonna take your word for it, Larry. I would have trusted you.
Well, you won't do that again.
All right, we posted up another video talking about how ranked rewards are not necessarily like meant to distinguish players, but they're more about how it gives people something to chase within their climb, right? And then Lewis May commented over on Instagram and said, "I've said this before, and I cannot believe people disagreed with me. People would genuinely rather Lord farm and break the rules of the game than play ranked for its rewards. People like Lord icons more than the actual ranked rewards. Maybe the ranked rewards are kind of fucking terrible and need to be better." Larry, are you you don't play a ton of ranked. Are you familiar with the ranked reward system at all?
Vaguely, and I should have looked at this
No, you're
before.
good.
I actually watched this video, but I cannot for the life of me remember what they are.
No, it's good. I mean, you get like a skin at gold, and then from there you get like name cards, borders, you know, things like that. So like just things to kind of distinguish your. They are kind
A
of crappy
skin?
rewards. What's that?
A skin?
Yeah, if you reach gold, you get like a season reward skin for reaching gold. So like
For like
last,
one particular character?
yeah,
I'm
so like
assuming?
last season it was Emma Frost. You got it for, and I think Ultron. It's normally the character that released you get a gold skin for. So you would get. I think Phoenix is the gold skin for this season.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know, man. Like I don't think there's any amount of reward that's going to get people to play ranked the way that everybody wants people to play ranked. Like the fact of the matter is that people are going to stat chase regardless. They're everybody kind of has their own goals when they jump into ranked. They want to climb, they want to clip farm, they want to stat chase, all those kinds of things. So um, but I think the Lord system is just such a unique feature of Marvel Rivals. Like other games have like character proficiency systems, but I don't think there's anything quite as forward facing as the Lord system. Does Apex have any kind of like proficiency system for their champions?
No. They've got it for the individual guns in the game, but nothing tied to the legends themselves, which is odd. Like now that you think about it, it's not really a thing that gets done.
Yeah, and I think I'm trying to think about Overwatch. I think Overwatch you get like the weapon skins for the proficiency that you have with your character. So there's like a little bit of distinguishing, but I don't know. There's something that makes the Lord. I mean, you finally got your first Lord with your Lord Psylocke. How'd that make you feel?
Better than everyone.
Yeah, you do have one of the I think more rare Lords in the game.
Nice.
I don't see quite as many Psylocks as a lot of other DPS characters.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think through like Apex and their ranked rewards. I think ranked rewards they only matter to the sweatiest of players. Like I care a great deal about my Apex Legends ranked rewards, but like a gold player does not give a fuck. I've never said the F word on one of our podcasts, so that was had to think about whether I was allowed to do that.
Hey,
We used to be family friendly.
You can say almost anything you want here. All right.
Right. But yeah, like in Apex, you get a badge that goes on your banner that only your team sees unless you do something. You're like the winning squad from the previous game. Everyone sees you at the beginning, or they see it on your death box. Like no one really sees that. You get a dive trail, like a pretty unique dive trail. But even there's some controversy around that because oftentimes it's like, oh, hey, that's a high ranking player. Let's drop on him and see if we can kill him. Sometimes it draws more attention than you want.
Yeah, and you got to strike a balance with these ranked rewards, right? Because you can't have them be like so great that people have this like FOMO, right? Because there's only a certain percentage of your player base that's going to get to a certain rank, right? And I think that's why gold is such a good kind of threshold for NetEase's sake, is they know like, hey, probably like 60% of our ranked player base is going to make it to this level, maybe higher than that. I didn't look at the rank distribution for last, but it's like if you put the really kind of unique rewards any higher than that, you're going to get a community of people that are like, man, they're really just kind of catering to the high ranking players. And so you gotta strike that balance too, which is why you get the things that are like, it's a player banner border at this, or like a badge that you get, or a trail or something like that,
Yeah. And another thing that I like about the ranked system, it's not really tied to rewards directly, but I just want to say this. I just started playing ranked last weekend. I think it's the first time I've really touched it in this game, and I climbed out of bronze pretty quick. I'm in silver now, and I love when you get promoted. It tells you it's not worded this way, but it tells you you're better than this percentage of players.
Yeah, and it just names all of the people you're better than. It's like, you're better than Rick, you're better than Molly, you're better. That's right. And you're like, damn right, and it gives you their phone number so you can text them.
Yeah, I've been texting them like crazy.
You're like, fuck you, Molly, I'm better than you. I'm silver too. And then Bell Doris on the same video says, I was GM1. Only reason I wanted to push higher. The jump from gold costume to GM was a rough journey. And yeah, I don't know. The GM reward, I can't even tell you what the GM reward is, but I can tell you this: it was not good enough for me to feel like I need to. I peaked diamond at my highest rank, and it wasn't because I was pushing for anything other than wanting to say like I made diamond. But yeah, there's very few rewards you could put it like GM that's like, man, I'm gonna fucking grind my way and make myself miserable through rank to get there.
Unfortunately, even though I just spent time shitting on Apex's rewards, I'm a sucker for it. I want everyone to know he hit diamond last season. He hit masters last season. I don't care if they care or not. I just want them to look at my dive trail and know I did better than you last season.
But is it the reward or is it the distinction though? Right? Like
the bragging rights.
Right. Like it could be anything.
Yeah, it's not the reward itself. Yeah.
So and I think that's the thing. Like to a certain extent, the players that are going to be gunning for that rank are going to be gunning for that rank regardless. And so it's like, do I need to put a ton of effort into making the GM, the eternal, or like the eternity rank? Like, do I need to put a lot of thought into making it super unique? Because people want to get to those ranks just to say they made it to those ranks anyway. Just give them something to say to prove that they did it.
Yeah.
Then we had this other asshole comment on.
I just want to say this next comment. I don't know if you put these on the screen, but you should, because that is an attractive man. Look at that jaw, those eyes. Whoa.
Do you have the right link? Still in Flux commented on a video about Phoenix's kit and said, "I
That's
have
me.
no shame about insta locking DPS."
Yeah, I'd
Larry,
love to
why are
talk
you
about
the
it.
way that you are?
All right. I think you can understand me. Just uh, think back. We've been playing games together for a long time. A long time.
Our very first memory together was playing video games together, and you formed a very
Oh
unjust
my
opinion of
goodness.
me.
I hated Luke. What? Like I just thought he was the biggest asshole on the planet. I could not stand that guy. So smug, obnoxious. All things I love about him
I was going to
today.
say nothing about me changed. Not a single thing changed except Larry's perspective.
Yeah, yeah.
Larry was like, "Wait a minute, if I weaponize this against others." um
But we've
anyway,
been
go
playing
ahead.
games for
Sorry.
a long time. If you think back on the games we played together, and I think especially this was clear back in the Overwatch days, I have tended to be like the Swiss Army knife of the team. I'm pretty good at games. I'm pretty good at learning a new character quickly. I can get good with just about any character. And so I have always been like sort of the most flexible on the team. And I'm just in this stage where I'm tired of being the one to flex and it's somebody else's turn. I'm insta locking DPS.
Yeah. I would do that if I was good. I'm not good though. I've always been the guy that flexes, but it's just because it's like I'm not mechanically skilled enough to carry a team, and so it's like I'm just gonna go hide on tank, but or hide on healer and call it a day. But yeah, for all of you guys who are insta locking DPS and not carrying your teams,
Mhm.
you know,
And
reconsider. Or for those of you who aren't insta locking DPS but waiting for everybody else to pick and then picking DPS, you can rethink your lives as well. All right.
and I will say, last night we played, and I did flex the tank for the first time. Part of that was selfish. I needed assists for a reward, but part of it was I was doing really badly that game. And so, yeah, if you insta like DPS and you're doing bad, it's time to try something else.
Yeah. All right, Larry. Well, let's jump to our next segment and talk about our weekend rivals. I feel like we've kind of been touching on some of the stuff we've been doing in game, but what'd you get up to in game? We talk about kind of accomplishments, what how much we played, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so I think the most important thing was I was really trying to find out what kind of community we have in Marvel Rivals. And so all week I've been spamming K-pop Demon Hunter lyrics into the all chat, and I've only had one team respond to me with singing the lyrics back to me. So you all need to watch that movie and do better. So that's the first thing.
Yeah, I've been reporting every single message that you've sent.
Luke hates fun and good things, so he hasn't watched it yet, and he
I,
probably never will. To be
again, these are
honest.
things that he knew about me when he met me in college. all all things that are not new to him 15 years into our friendship.
Yeah, we were friends that long.
I,
Dang.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think I mean I'm 35 now, and I mean we met when I was 18, so we've known each other for 17 years. But you didn't start coming around my room until yeah,
Yeah.
junior year when you
Mm.
were working at Subway bringing bringing those cookies. You only did it once. I talk about it like you did it all the time. I'm always like Larry used to bring back those cookies from Subway every single night. He did it
I
one
was a
time.
sandwich artist.
Sandwich artist. Sorry. Did they really call you a sandwich artist?
Yeah, that was the official job title.
Do they
Uh,
still do that?
I think so.
Lame. I'd walk out. Did you feel like an artist when the person was like, "More mayo, please," than that? Keep going. Keep going.
Mm.
You're like, I can no longer see the sandwich.
Keep going. More. More.
All right. Anyway, what else?
I
you
forgot
got?
the question. What are we talking about?
It's our weekend rivals. What else did you do?
Let's see. I got Lord on Psylocke. I feel like I'm a pretty good Psylocke. I don't have a lot to compare it to except the enemy Psylocks that I generally talk a lot of shit to.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of that. I'm still enjoying Phoenix. I did try Tank for the first time. Penny Parker. I want to be good with her because she's so annoying when I'm against her, but I am not. I'm very bad with her.
Yeah, Penny's unique because she's just like she's very situational. You can't really you can't like force her into every map. You can't force her into kind of every. I mean, you can, but you're not gonna have a good time against a lot of things. So,
Yeah.
um,
And I tried a healer. I tried Mantis, and man, if you need assists, that is the character. I got like 33 in one game. It was incredible.
yeah, just keep that damage boost on your friends there, and you're gonna do just fine, just fine. You also got the new Psylocke skin.
I did, and the purple version of it as well.
Oh, you had enough of the I don't even know what that currency's called. There's like 7,000 currencies, but a little teaser for what we're going to talk about later in the show. But uh, you just got it off of what you unlocked in the battle pass?
I had already racked some of that up from the battle pass. Maybe it was just the battle pass. I don't know why I had it. I had some of it, and then the I also got the pass that has the Luna Snow skin. So it's there too.
Did you buy that pass?
I did. Yeah.
Nice, nice. I bought that pass as well to get the dude, I got that same phone call. Sorry, my phone lit up. I got the same phone call from the prison. They want to add my number so that they can call me and I can call them. Maybe I should just accept. Yeah, I got the pass too. Wanted that thong skin. I've been rocking it. My favorite moment from the week was when we were shit talking that thing player from the other team and I was wrecking him and I said, "You brought a thing to a thong fight."
Yes.
I think that was my best line of the week in chat. Um, so yeah, but yeah, I think I got I got Lord Thing last night, right? I
You
think I
did.
told you,
Yeah.
I told you I got it. So
Lord
got
Thong.
got Lord Thong last night. That thong, 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 thong. And yeah, I have run out of challenges to do in the game to get battle pass currency. And I'm kind of just waiting on the two dailies to unlock for myself each day to get
Yeah.
more because I play the game entirely too much. So the way that it works is you have like your weekly challenges that unlock every 7 days. You get two challenges that unlock every day, and then you have the season long challenges that reset every 30 days where you can like repeat it 4 times, where it's like do X amount of damage, X amount of healing, take X amount of damage or something like that maybe.
Yeah.
I've done all of those all 4 times. So it's like I can't really progress through the battle pass anymore. I've already completed my summer event pass, all that sort of stuff. So I should probably slow down on this game if I'm being totally honest with you.
No, Nettie should give you more opportunities. That's
Just give me more shit to buy. I'll buy it. I mean, you've been playing games. You admittedly, me and you have been playing games for a decade and a half. Have you ever seen me drop money on games like I drop money on Marvel Rivals?
no.
I have
No.
I have like 2,000 hours in Overwatch. I didn't even buy Overwatch when it came out. I was game sharing with with a good friend of mine on Xbox. Like I think I spent a total of $20 on Overwatch in the 2,000 hours that I've played on it. I've dropped way more than that on Rivals already. So
Yeah. And I do buy like skins for characters I really like. I've dropped a little more on Marvel Rivals than I typically would, which is crazy because I don't play it enough to justify what I've spent in it.
but you play with it's the first game in years that me, you, and Seth have like all collectively really been into together though, which is I think
Yeah.
saying something and helps with my motivation to spend on it because it's like I want to continue to invest in it. So I'm kind of forcing myself into that sunk cost fallacy, right? Where it's like I'm gonna put a bunch of money because then I can't walk away because it's like look how much I've invested that'll never get returned to me for all of these digital pixels. So I can't tell you how much money I've spent in the game so far, but it's more than I did in Overwatch. All right, Larry, well, let's move on to the news. And we always start with the brand new skins coming to the game. And we got a trailer for our.
Real quick.
Yep.
Sorry, I have a question. Are they actually dropping new skins frequently enough that you always start with the trailer for new skins? Or the
They update the store every single week, and there's always two skins, at least two
well,
skins.
all games do that, but they're like they're rotating old skins so often.
No,
So
it's always new
that's really cool
skins.
that we're getting that much content in this game.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
always new skins. So, but we got our first or our trailer for the Fantastic Four First Steps costume. What's up?
Just the Fantastic Four skins. It just makes me giggle.
um, these are obviously the skins from the movie, and they look great. I mean, exactly how you would expect them. Designed off the movie. It looks like they. I don't. I guess they got the. I don't know. Do these look close enough? That doesn't really look like Pedro Pascal, does it?
They didn't change like the characters' faces.
Uh,
They just put them in the suits. I was looking at that earlier.
okay, so they didn't get like the image rights to the actors,
I
which is
don't
sad because I
think so.
I know that Pedro Pascal hasn't been in a whole lot lately, so I know he was really really looking forward to it. But you don't play any of these characters, Larry. But what do you think about these skins?
I'm sorry, I don't like them. I don't like the new Fantastic Four suits. And hot take, I don't know, maybe it's a hot take, maybe it's not. I've never liked the Fantastic Four, even as a child when I binged all superhero stuff, even like the terrible old superhero cartoons, the old Spider-Man from like the 60s. When the old Fantastic Four would come on, I'd be like, okay, that's enough TV. I'll go find something else to do.
I don't know. I feel the same way. I'm not as big and this is a known thing with people who listen to the show. Like I'm not the lore guy on the show. I'm not really into any of the movies or anything like that. But for some reason, Fantastic Four has always felt like I don't know. I'm going to try to say this and hopefully it makes sense. Like it feels like old people superheroes to me for some
Yeah,
reason.
it so all superheroes kind of had that like cheesy 60s era, right? Everybody in the 60s. This was like a cheesy, corny version of superheroes. I don't feel like Fantastic Four is capable of being anything but that. Even when they try to do like a more modern, serious take on it, it's still called the Fantastic Four. And they're still wearing those goofy matching outfits with a four on them. And the whole dynamic is just it's just a weird dynamic with them. I don't know. I'm with you.
Yeah, it's sort of the like Partridge Family of superheroes. It's like that
Yeah.
family dynamic. Like we're the plucky band of relatives traveling around to save the world. And yeah, I mean they even had that vibe in the game too. So are you not interested in the movie or anything like that?
I'm gonna watch this one. As far as Fantastic Four goes, it's the best looking. It looks like it's gonna be the best movie we've had, but my expectations are low, especially with just how Marvel's been in the last half a decade.
Yeah. I'm showing the full renders up here on the screen now. And I don't know, they look good. If it comes in a decently priced bundle, I might get this because I do play Invisible Woman and I play Thing, but
Mhm.
I also feel like they just released a really great Thing skin with the thong skin. They're about to release a summer skin for Johnny Storm as well. And Invisible Woman has a couple really great skins already too. So I feel like these aren't the best skins for any of these characters, except maybe the one for Mr. Fantastic. And that's just because I don't really like any of the other Mr. Fantastic skins in the game.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of with you. I'm sort of interested in checking out the movie and seeing uh, what it's all about. I like Pedro Pascal. I think it'll be good.
Oh
And
yeah.
who's playing Human Torch? It's somebody who was just in.
It's the Stranger Things guy, right? The Eddie. I don't remember the actor's name.
Oh yeah. You're right. You're right. So I think it has a good cast.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen the Fortnite skins for this movie as well?
No.
Yeah, Fortnite is doing Fantastic Four skins. as well. And I'll pull up an image comparing these.
I'm sorry, I'm a child.
Still laughing at the foreskins.
Yeah.
um. So yeah, I am. So yeah,
Okay. Same
here
thing,
it looks like
except they have the
Fortnite.
faces.
Yeah, I was gonna say Fortnite. It looks like they got the image rights. I hate the design for the thing in the movie.
Yeah,
I like his eyebrows weird. Like it looks like he's just got a helmet on.
it does. Like
um
the top part of a Darth Vader helmet.
yeah, I don't know. So I definitely prefer the rival skins over the Fortnite skins, outside of the fact that I do like that Fortnite has the actual faces.
Yeah. Um, if anyone of your viewers is watching this and really has always loved the Fantastic Four, please tell me why. Maybe you can sell me on it.
Yeah, I was reading an arc. I have the Marvel Unlimited series, and I was reading an arc that was kind of like Doctor Doom had kind of put this like cloud of confusion over the Fantastic Four, and like Sue Storm thought that she was like in love with Namor, and the Thing thought that like Richard didn't want him around anymore, and all this sort of stuff. And like Richard had like locked himself away to try to solve some big galaxy problem, and it was a really kind of like unique take on the Fantastic Four because it didn't kind of play into those cheesy family dynamics. There was a lot more, I think, tension between the four characters. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, I'd be interested to see like if you are a Fantastic Four fan, where should we look for the cool Fantastic Four content? So let us know.
Really, my only point of reference is that 60s cartoon, and everything else feels like that 60s cartoon.
We do have a new team up coming to the game, and we've had a couple movies come out, Marvel movies come out during Rivals. We had like Thunderbolts. I'm trying to think. What other movies have come out recently? Thunderbolts is the big one that comes to my mind. They didn't really go out all out on the Thunderbolts thing, so I'm a little not necessarily surprised, but what they're doing here with this movie feels a little bit more unique, and I think a little more in line with what I feel like Rivals was probably going to do with this IP, and probably is maybe even mandated to do a little bit from Disney to do with this IP, to help kind of cross promote stuff. But because we're getting a new team up in the game with the Thing and Human Torch. It's the First Steps new team up ability. They're adding this mid season where Johnny can pick up the Thing and just fly him around the map and drop you, and you slam the ground, creating an AoE knockup, doing damage. I don't know. Looks pretty cool to me. What do you think about this, Larry?
Yeah, this is a cool, fun team up. Makes sense for the characters. Um,
Ripped directly from the
and
trailer.
yeah, and they've this is the second thing they've sort of done to address issues that you had with the thing previously, where it's just so hard to close the gap with that character. So it's pretty neat that you can just fly in and drop him in the middle of the action.
Yeah, the Thing has become a menace over the last couple weeks, and I think he's just going to become an even bigger menace as a result of this team up. And just imagine looking up and you see that thong clad and rock hard body flying at you, you know?
Yes.
And there goes my hero. I don't know. I think this is cool. I wonder how long this is going to be in the game. Is this going to be just like a temporary thing? Is it gonna be around for the rest of the season? I don't know. I haven't read any of the additional details that might have come along with this announcement, but yeah, this seems really cool. I'm really glad that it seems like somebody else is going to be responsible for carrying me around, because I've been so used to having to pick up Wolverine as the Thing and throw him. So
What would be really cool is if you could still pick up Wolverine and Johnny picks you up.
I'm trying to see if Yeah, I don't know, man. The thing is sick because I it seems like you're only able to drop down and do the kind of smash attack, but it would be awesome if you could fly and then do like the thing where you go towards an enemy from the air too. But that might just make thing too damn powerful, you know.
Yeah.
All right, and then the last piece of news that we have on here, and we've kind of talked about this before on the show, but and I think there's a conversation that just kind of pops up every single time that there is a new season that launches. But there's some concerns around the player base for the game and how the game is retaining players and blah blah blah. And I'm just going to say this to you guys right now: if you're playing Marvel Rivals and you're worried about the player base, you don't have to be worried. There's plenty of people playing this game. NetEase is going to support this game. It's not going anywhere. All right. At this point, you're just watching their pockets if you're if you're concerned about the player base, right? But because we're a Marvel Rivals podcast and we talk about all things Marvel Rivals, let's talk about the player base. All right, Larry. I am in here and I am looking at the 3 month. Well, let's start at this. Let's just start at the max. All right.
Yeah.
So if we take a look at their peak, right? Season 1, January 6th, 644,000 players, right? And then if we look at all of the subsequent season releases, first season, or season 1.5, 437,000, season 2, 315,000, season 2.5, 190,000, season 3, 163,000, right? And you look at a chart like this and you think, wow, that's a huge drop in players. I mean, they've lost basically 5/6 of their player base since season 1 launched. And yes, that looks like dire. But I think what you have to realize with games like this is it's not sustained necessarily off of a giant well, first of all, this is just Steam. This isn't your console player base, which is probably much larger than your PC player base,
Yeah.
right? But also a game like this, your release window is about finding your audience that's going to stick with this game in the long run, right? Apex had a huge release when it kind of shadow dropped in March of whatever year that was. And it sustained itself because it found its audience that just stuck with that game, and it became the game that those people played for all time, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know what was Apex's player base like by the time you were. I mean, by the time you kind of stopped streaming.
Well, Apex, I just like nodded along, but I think I'm going to contradict you just a little bit. You got to remember the way we found out about Apex was there was the lead guy at Respawn sitting in a chair at E3. He's like, "Hey, we did a battle royale. It's out now." So I actually just pulled up their numbers at launch. They were like down at the 117,000 area. This is not actually launch, but they're around 100,000, and they actually grew over time.
Mm.
It's one of but that is like a rare. I think that's a rare exception for a game like this. And Apex did top out in March of 2023, February of 2023 at 624,000 players, and since then it dwindled down to 153,000, and now it's back up to like 250, 260. So after it hit its peak, it did follow sort of the same trajectory as Marvel Rivals has followed here. But what Marvel Rivals has done is more typical. You have a big launch, everyone's checking out the new game, especially if it launches to a lot of fanfare. Um, but not everyone's going to keep playing it. It's going to shrink and it's going to stabilize at some point. And I think Rivals is probably finding what its like stabilization is going to be, and then maybe it'll start growing from there.
Yeah, and as a guy who works in games and as a guy who works on a live service game, you're much more concerned about the retention of your player base than you are about like the peaks and valleys of your player base. And so it's like, okay, we had there were 190,000 players that hopped on in the first weekend of season 2.5, right? And then that went down to 163,000 for season 3. But if I go into this 1 month and kind of look, or the 3 month window and look, and you look at kind of the first weekend compared to the second weekend of that season, you had a loss of like 50,000 players from weekend 1 to weekend 2 in season 2.5. Whereas in season 3, you didn't have much of a loss at all. You lost like 7,000 players between the 2 Fridays of the launch of season 3. So your retention was a lot better week over week in Steam. And again, like all of this is just kind of a little moot, right? Because this isn't your console numbers. This isn't like your most accessible platform that we're talking about here. But I mean, it's still worth talking about. Like NetEase is trying to find that sweet spot where they're like, okay, what is our content release cadence that's going to keep players coming back? And I mean, we saw the roadmap that they released. We talked about that last week. That's something we hadn't seen from NetEase at all in the 7 months that this game's been out, or 8 months that this game's been out. And so for them to be like, okay, the season's coming out this week, and now here for the next 4 weeks, this is the content you have to look forward to. It gives your community reasons to look forward to coming back. And I think it's a communication strategy. It's a strategy of just like finding your audience. And so I'm not concerned about the player base numbers, mostly because like you can sustain a gaming community off of a player base like this. I am curious about the Apex numbers, Larry, because correct me if I'm wrong. There was a long time you couldn't even play Apex on Steam, right?
I think you're right.
You had to play on like the EA launcher or some shit like like that.
Yeah, that's right.
So it was like a big deal when they launched it on Steam. So that like 600,000 or whatever that they had peak wise might be coinciding with that. I don't know. That's just a guess.
Yeah. Well, no, that's not where it coincides. Just because Apex launched in February of 2019, but it launched on Steam in November of 2020. And then it was 2020. What did I say?
Yeah, you said like February 2023 or something was when they peaked at like
Yeah.
600,000 or whatever. What happened in
But
February of that year
of
of 2023 when they peaked?
there was a new season launch, I believe. I can't remember which one, but I can't. But it's like a gradual climb. Like the previous
Yeah.
peak was 499,000. Like it Apex was just going up and up. And part of it is that they released, just before the pandemic. That's when I got into streaming. Everyone who wanted to get into it finally had the time to get into it. It was a very streamable game. It had a very active competitive environment. It just had a lot going for it. And that dive in 2023, like from that peak, really came from a long time them mismanaging the game, not listening to their community. The content was nowhere to be found. Skins and stuff like Marvel Rivals is being supported at a much higher level than Apex Legends ever has been. And so, yeah, I wouldn't be worried about this game going away anytime soon.
I'm also curious what these numbers would look like if they had things like cross-platform progression and things like that, right? Like if more players
Yeah.
could kind of easily jump between console and Steam, because you can do that on a game like Apex, right? And I'm not saying that accounts for all of that player base, but it's a lot easier for me to be like, I can play in multiple ecosystems because all of my content kind of carries over. Because I'd love to play more with you on PC, but it's like none of my shit is on PC. I'm like level 18 on PC or something like that.
Yeah. And speaking to, the impact that could have, Apex didn't get cross progression until October of 2023. So,
Oh,
well,
so
that was actually after, but
yeah, that's after the peak. So,
but it's still there's like a nice little steady plateau there in that time frame, and that's part of it. Like, and it
yeah,
got cross play was something that took them a little while to get, I think.
yeah. I don't know when it got crossplay. Do they do crossplay ranked on Apex?
October of 2020 was crossplay. Yeah, they do.
Gotcha.
Um, and ever since then, like you've had the mixed inputs, and And I know that's why companies shy away from it, is putting mouse players against controller players. It's so hard to strike a balance, and it's a constant fight in the Apex community. But I'd rather deal with it, even if it skews not in my favor, if I get to play with my friends who don't play on PC.
Yeah, man, this is something I've been kind of like, I don't know. I'm a big like EA college football player, and I think I've seen that game for 2 years in a row now kind of get ruined by the streamer community kind of complaining about things that people who play the game a certain way don't care about, whereas like these streamers who kind of play in this real isolated way do care about. And I feel like I kind of feel like the mixed input thing is one of those issues as well, where it's like most normal people just want to like log off work and easily play with their friends regardless of their platforms, and they'll just deal with the issues. Most people aren't even fucking aware of the issue, right? Like
Yeah.
you just throw them in with the console and PC players, and they're just going to be blissfully unaware, and whatever. There's going to be some games they get curb stomped, and there's going to be other games they do the curb stomping, and they're never going to think twice about why that might be. But it's the online communities and the streamers that are going to be the ones like, oh, the mixed inputs are just making this game impossible to play. It's going to be podcasts like us, us assholes saying stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I'm with you, man. Like, I would much rather it just be like I'm in my mid-30s. I'm not going to be fucking playing in the esports World Cup or anything like that anytime soon. It's like I just want to log off work and play with my friends wherever I'm playing from.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's jump into our main topic of the day, which is Marvel Rivals' approach to monetization. And I've got, we don't necessarily have to touch on everything I've got here in the show notes, Larry, but, this is I want to take a piece of news and then kind of springboard this into a bigger conversation. And I'm glad you're here because
Well, thanks, buddy.
I think you bring a unique perspective, having kind of played the game when it first came out, taken a few months off from the game. Me and you got like really into frag punk there for a bit before we realized like, oh, we're playing the same 4 people every game.
I still want to be into frag punk, but y'all want to talk about a dying player base? Go look at the frag punk numbers.
We want to pull up the frag punk chart real quick. Hold on. The frag punk chart. Let's see. I'm actually very curious. How many players do you think are on right now? Or are you looking?
I pulled it up already.
Okay. There are 2,500 players on right now on Frag Punk. They peaked on release at 113,000. So they peaked at maybe the lowest player number that Marvel Rivals has been at on Steam. And yes, they have lost almost 100% of their base.
And I know this is not the Frag Punk Rivals podcast, but man, I don't understand. I think that game is a great game. I love that game, and I don't know how it failed so badly.
I think that's just one of those games where it's got a really unique kind of like spin on the genre, but it doesn't do anything better than any of the other games in the genre.
Yeah.
Like I think Valorant has better operators. I think CS:GO has better maps and gunplay. I think all Fragpunk really has going for it is the card system, and it didn't really do a great job of like leaning into that and making people care about it.
Yeah.
That's my thought. So, all right, but like you said, this is a Rivals podcast. But tune in next week for our Fragpunk podcast. So we had our Rivals summer event release last week. Everyone was very excited about the thong, about the Luna Snow skin, and the Thor skin that was going to be a part of it. We got the Thor skin, the Fantastic Four skins. This game is just riddled with stuff that would not pass our middle school test, where you have to sit a bunch of middle schoolers down and let them know what you're going to call something and see if they laugh at it.
If they do, you got to change that name.
Everyone was very excited about it until I woke up on the morning of its release, and the Marvel Rivals subreddit was all up in arms because the Summer Special Premium Edition was 990 lattice compared to our last combat chest, which was 690 lattice. So a $3 increase in price of the Summer Special premium edition. And there was a little breakdown in the comments here on the Reddit thread that I have posted here. I want to make sure I give the person who did this credit, since I didn't do this research myself. This is from J68, who is the OP of this thread. He said the premium edition is 990 lattice. It has 21 rewards. That includes all of the free rewards. It has the 3 skins in it. The battle pass is 990 lattice, but it also has 600 lattice inside of the battle pass itself. So it offsets it and basically makes it 390 lattice. In the last combat chest was 690 lattice with 24 rewards in it. And so a lot of conversation around the community about value of these kinds of passes, about NetEase's approach to maybe trying to find the line of what they can charge for these kinds of events, things like that. Thoughts about, wow, this thing costs as much as the battle pass costs and all that. Larry, you and I, we've been doing podcasts in the video game world now for years, and we've had a lot of conversations about value. What was your kind of initial thought having seen that price and the increase from the 690 to the 990?
So I wouldn't have known it was an increase if you didn't tell me. But so my mindset is not coming from a price increase. My mindset is coming from what is the cost of this thing? What is the value of it? And as someone that's fairly outside I'm kind of an outsider to this community. I'm just getting back into it, right? I just want to look you Marvel Rivals fans in the eyes and tell you, you have no idea how spoiled you are. Uh, One of those skins in Apex Legends, I'm dropping $25 minimum if I want it. Fortnite, you're gonna drop at least $15 on a skin. Like, to get 3 really good fun skins in a pass for $10, that is a great value compared to what every other game is doing right now. And if you're not buying a crap ton of stuff in this game anyway, you should have, like, it's so easy to get lattice. I'm saying I bought the Psylocke skin in this pass. Half of that was covered by lattice I got, and I've barely played the game. So I don't know. I think you're getting a ton of good stuff in this game for not a lot of money. And this is not at the point where I would be complaining about it.
That's actually such a good point, Larry. Like I didn't think about this game. When I was kind of thinking about this, I was thinking about it comparatively to the other things that Rivals have done. I wasn't thinking about it comparatively to things like, things like Fortnite, things like Apex. Mostly because, like I said, I don't normally spend money on these kinds of games. It's just I'm not going to be the person that bitches about how much something costs. Like, because I just don't spend a lot of money on this kind of stuff. I don't normally care about skins. In a game like Apex, I don't really understand why you would care about skins. Like, you're playing in first person, you don't ever see your character. But outside of a battle pass in Apex, does Apex do these kind of like supplemental events where you can like purchase a pass and unlock, like give you an unlock track?
They don't do like the passes. They have experimented with that recently with individual characters, but it wasn't done this well. It was you're unlocking packs specific to that character, so it's the whole gotcha thing.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Thank you. Gotcha thing.
It is a gotcha
They
too. Don't worry.
yeah. They do events, but they're much rarer. And Apex does not. When they do an event, they'll probably have like, I don't know, let's say 10 skins in the event. And there are probably going to be 3 of them that you care about that you actually want. Most of them are going to be like just recolors, like, oh, their jacket's purple now. Don't you want to spend money on this? And the answer is no, I don't. But they want you to like, so many of their skins are only attainable in the gacha fashion. Having something like this where you know what you're going to get, you know how to get it, and there's a clear dollar amount attached to it, and it's lower than what other people are charging. I just think this game has incredible value and incredible content. Like, very rarely is there a skin in this game. Like, I don't buy all the skins because I'm only going to play Psylocke and Phoenix. So what do I need those for? But I have gotten every Psylocke skin so far, and it really hasn't taken much for me to do that. I think that's amazing.
Yeah. I've been on the record of saying this on PBA radio. I've said this on P on P3P. Value is not about how much something costs. Value is about how much somebody's willing to pay for it, right? And so when we talk about like, is it a 990 lattice value what you're getting in this thing? Like that's in the eye of the beholder. And in my opinion, yeah, it is. It was the combat chest was 690 lattice worth. Would I have paid 990 lattice for the combat chest? Probably. I I don't know. I might be a little biased now because, like I said, I work on a free to play game that works on a that has like ongoing content and stuff like that. And I know how good it feels when I see people who are supporting the game that I work on, and I want to support the games that I spend the most amount of my time on. And Rivals is something that I have spent hundreds of hours in already, and it's like, man, when you go see the new Fantastic Four movie, you're going to spend $25 to go see that movie. Probably more if you're going to like get concessions and stuff like that, right? And it's like that's going to be what 2.5 hours of your time,
Yeah.
and most people aren't going to even bat an eye when they go watch that movie, or if you wait for it to come to your streaming to a streaming service, you're going to pay 15-20 bucks to like rent it on your TV or something like that for 2.5 hours of your time. It's like I don't have an issue paying 10 bucks for something that I have gotten just an endless amount of value out of for my time. And look, I get that there are some people that that's just not in the cards for them, but you're not missing anything in the
Yeah.
game
Yeah.
itself. Like
It's
you can
cosmetic.
still play the game, right? And you can, uh, uh, I don't know. I know you can like go back to old battle passes in the game, and I'm sure that some of this content they're going to bring back as well, right? It's like you can return to this. I'm sure you're going to be able to return to this stuff if you're in a better place. But like what you're saying, dude, is like that Luna Snow skin, if it was not in this pass, would be $25, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
so the
And
comparative
in a
value is great.
game, and in Apex, sometimes like there's not a way to get these things except to like get all the things. There have been some insane drops in Apex where it's like, all right, if you want this really cool weapon you carry around, you're going to drop like 500 bucks to guarantee that you get it. Like
Yeah.
that's predatory. That's awful. This game, I'm so impressed with the monetization, how they've leveraged it, and just the cosmetics themselves are really cool. It's stuff you want, but you're right. At the end of the day, you don't need it. You don't need it to play.
Yeah, yeah. If you're feeling upset about the price of it or whatever, number one, you're well within your right to express it and not spend your money on it, and
Yeah,
I'm all about that. The whole like trying to rally the community to like get behind you and also not spend their money on it, like I can take it or leave it on that. Like, hey, what the world sucks. Like the little bit of stuff we can find our joy in, don't make me feel bad about it, right? Like I didn't feel 1 ounce of badness. Larry, you texted me and were like, are you gonna feel a little embarrassed when you immediately buy that summer pass? And I was like, no, not at all. Like, I don't fucking care. um like I don't know, this game brings me a lot of joy. It's two characters I have Lord on with Luna and the thing. Like I these are characters I play. I'm going to use these skins. Like I don't know. But
the spirit of my joke was, would you be embarrassed that you spent 10 bucks to stare at Luna Snow? But
I mean, look,
not the thing itself.
I am staring at the thing itself. All right. um,
um,
yeah,
Before
go
we
ahead.
move on from this topic, I also just wanted to weigh in real fast on the math they were doing with the battle pass is 990 labs, 600 labs in the pass itself, as though like I think some players are missing what's going on there psychologically. The reason like NetEase didn't put the lattice in the past to be like, community, we love you. We love giving back. Here's some free money. That is a hook to keep you playing to the end of that battle pass so that you get your full value out of it and you come back next season ready to spin the battle pass and stay hooked in. They want you to keep leveraging it one battle pass into the next again and again and again. It's not value for you.
Yeah, it's a mechanic. Yes, it's a mechanic to keep you hooked, and the battle pass serves a totally different purpose than this like premium pass as well, right? Like the battle pass is meant to give you a regular stream of content over the next 2 months, whereas this is kind of as a stopgap to for a player like me who like reaches a point with the battle pass where I can't make more progress in a certain amount of time. Like I can still log on and make progress on my summer skin stuff. So
Yeah.
they're not only doing a really good job with the monetization, they're doing a really good job with just keeping players engaged with all this content. I remember those bone dry desert days of Overwatch where it was like, we haven't gotten a new character in 6 months. Like, what are we doing?
And also, like, speaking of monetization, do you remember the first time Overwatch charged $25 for a skin?
Yeah, oh
The
yeah,
Mercy
yeah,
breast cancer awareness skin?
oh yeah.
People lost their minds over that.
Mm-hmm. And now it's just a
So 10
regular
bucks
thing.
for 3?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. And look, I get that NetEase is probably trying to toe the line and figure out where it is. How much can we pay for this? And like they're trying to find that delta, right? Like where does it start to fall off where we're not getting as much return from the players, even if not as many people are buying it or whatever. Um, they're well within their rights to do that. Is it the greatest thing in the world? No, but we, you, I, I don't expect prices to stay the same from day one all the way throughout, right? And the first battle chest is like it shouldn't be indicative or restrictive of what NetEase is able to charge for the rest of their game for all time. $3 increase is a little aggressive. I'll give them that, but it's also not something to flip the fuck out about.
Yeah.
But what would a gaming community be if it wasn't flipping the fuck out, Larry?
Hey, that's why we're all here.
Um, and I don't know. Do you think that this outrage would have been not outrage is such a like sensationalized word. It wasn't necessarily outrage, but do you think people would have felt a little less bad if it wasn't the same price as the battle pass? Like, let's say the battle pass has always been like $14.90 or something like that, like a $15
Yeah.
battle pass, and this went to $9.90. Like, is that different?
I think it is. Like, just how that's going to hit your customer psychologically is, well, it draws the comparison.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a rough decision to make, and that's a hard thing to market and talk to people about.
Yeah, yeah. Now, Larry, you, like I said, stepped away from the game for a few months. You're finally back. You've been back, but you've probably also noticed there's a lot of shit in this game now. You've got the lattice, you've got the units, those things have been there, but we've also got emotes, we've got emojis, we've got moods, we've got the accessories. How do you feel about like the evolution of the economy itself and like the systems within the game, especially having played like Fragpunk, which is another NetEase published game, and we played that. And I've talked about this on the show already, and that game is just like, what the fuck is all? I'm just clicking shit. I don't even know what's related to what.
Yeah, good luck finding all the stuff you're trying to get. Like, there were times in the game I was actively trying to buy something from them and couldn't figure out how to do it. Maybe that's why they're down to 2,000 players right now.
Yeah, yeah.
So I will say, just I played before, but it really was such a brief time, dude. Like, uh, I almost feel like I'm coming to this game brand new. Like,
Mhm.
it's hard for me to compare. I didn't know till this moment that we didn't have the emotes and all that stuff already. So,
Well, like the
um,
emotes and stuff, yeah, we have had those. So sorry that I misspoke there. I meant like the emojis that you can like put in the
oh,
chat.
gotcha. I didn't know those were new either.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. Those are new.
yeah. But so as far as did I notice the changes? Apparently not. But now that I'm aware of them and thinking of them, I think I think all live service games are struggling with this thing where the currency gets sort of convoluted. Apex has, geez, one, two, three. They have four currencies in that game. One of them is a red currency that is almost useless. You don't really use it for anything anymore except like certain recolors and unlocking new legends. But at this point, you've got so much of it racked up that everyone who's been playing just gets the new legend. It's fine. Um, uh, So, like, I find it convoluted, but I think everyone's convoluted right now. Lattice and gold and whatever this little vial of liquid to change my color of my costume is. Stuff is all over the place. And I did have to ask you where to go buy something the other night. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so that's a thing.
Yeah, it's a lot of systems, it's a lot of menus, and you know, games are getting bloated with this sort of stuff, and a lot of it is just to kind of run cover for the actual money that you're spending, right?
Yeah,
It's like 9.90 lattice feels different than telling somebody like this thing costs $10 or
yeah.
whatever. Um, and a lot of games do it because it also makes spending across platforms easier too, right? Where you because most companies don't like you loading up a wallet on one platform and then spending that money on another. If I just buy the currency and that's loaded to my account, I can spend it anywhere. So it's kind of a combination of all of those sorts of things, but I do feel like it can be confusing. But I think the one thing that Rivals really gets right in its approach to monetization is that all of the stuff that you're purchasing is purely cosmetic. It's not like Apex. You're not buying characters. You don't have to buy new characters as they come out. I think that's honestly something that Fragpunk got really wrong, right? Like it was really easy to unlock all of the characters in Fragpunk if you played enough, but it didn't seem that way when you first started playing. And it seems really restrictive when you log on and it's like, damn, only like a third of this roster is unlocked for me and I got to pay for the rest of it.
Even if you don't like, even when you have to earn characters, that's just how it was done back in the day. It's a bad system, and it's time to do away with it. Marvel Rivals gets it right. Like I can jump in and play whichever character I want. If I just started with Captain America and like just a limited selection and had to earn my way to Psylocke, I would have never picked the game up again. There are too
Hmm.
many characters, and just let people play the way they want to play. I think that's where it gets different too, especially in games where the character's abilities are impactful, like Apex, like Marvel Rivals. Uh, Having to unlock characters when one of the characters behind the paywall might be the character for the meta, it turns it into a pay to win game.
Hmm. And not just a character for the meta, but a character for your play style, right? It's like I think you and I are very similar where like we find the character that we really like to play and we're more than willing to flex and figure out other things, but if we find that one character we really kind of connect with, that's the character we want to play. And it sucks because most of those games they let you try every character out in the practice range or whatever. And it sucks if I'm trying all the characters out and I'm like, man, I really like this one, but now I got to earn it or buy it or whatever. Rivals, you don't run into that issue at all. Like you find your character and it's right there.
Yeah. I didn't even think about play style. Like, and if you've played games with me a while, if you think about how I play every game, I'm trying to come at you from a weird angle and assassinate you.
Hmm.
And if I would have been stuck playing Captain America with that play style until I got to Psylocke, that would not have felt good.
Now, this question is not related to monetization as much as more related. Like hero shooters are really unapproachable after a while. um, how you had some understanding of the game from the first time that you played, but like now that there was a lot of new characters in the game, new maps and stuff like that, how how much harder did it feel like to kind of get caught up playing the game and kind of knowing, being aware of what was going on around you with all the different characters?
Um, the roster in Rivals is huge, and it started out huge, and so I don't know who's new and who's not new. So I'll say that. But learning what everyone does and how it impacts you is really challenging. My critique of this game when it came out, the reason it didn't hook me, this feels dangerous to say on a Marvel
No,
Rivals
go for it, man,
podcast.
dude. We say it all the
the
time. Say stuff all
the
the time.
gameplay felt like a shitty version of Overwatch to me, honestly. I think it's too noisy. It's too difficult to discern what abilities are doing what to who. I think that kind of thing was much more clear in Overwatch. Like you knew the impact the thing hitting you had on you. In this game, sometimes like the colors are changing on the screen. I'm like, I know that means something, but I don't know what it means. So it's really confusing and knowing who can do what. Like the other night, I was like, hey, someone just used a grappling hook to pull me through a window. Whose ability was that? And it was Bucky, and he's been there the whole time, but I've just never been hit by that before, so I didn't
Mhm.
know. And there are characters where I'm like, I don't know what to do with this character. Like, uh, Iron Fist is going to roll up and beat the hell out of me, and there's nothing I can do to counter it. Is my understanding of the
Yeah, yeah.
character.
Yeah,
So it's hard.
yeah, and look, I agree. I think I partly agree. I partly disagree. I think you're kind of viewing Overwatch through a pair of rose-colored glasses in the sense that like by the time we got done with Overwatch, I think it had gone through a lot of the growing pains of some of its sort of visual diarrhea that was on the screen. Because when that game first came out, I think it was really, really visually cluttered and hard to understand. And they made a lot of changes over time to make it a lot easier to read. And I think Rivals just didn't do a really great job of learning a lot of the lessons as far as visual clarity is concerned, both from just the play aspect, but also like the spectating aspect when you're watching the esports and stuff like that as well. But because I agree with you, I do think it can get kind of messy in terms, and I think there's still things in the game that like don't make a lot of sense. Where it's like the one thing I still am like the cloak and dagger ults. I'm like, whose cloak and dagger ult is that on the ground? Is that mine or is that the other teams? You know,
I
like
talked about this to you the other night. Like the color coding is bad. If blue is my friendly color, I should not see blue in anything an enemy does.
mm,
It's too confusing. And like the invisible woman has like a blue cylinder. It's got a tinge of red if it's an enemy, but for me that's still confusing. Like it makes me be like, am I in a friendly one or a bad one? I can't tell.
yeah, and the Invisible Woman one's hard because if both your teams are out and they're kind of overlapping one another, it's really hard to tell like when yours expires versus like if yours gets deployed first and stuff. Yeah, it's a visually cluttered mess, and these games don't tend to get less visually cluttered the more they grow because you're just going to get more characters with more. I mean, I think Phoenix's Kit is a good example of kind of what these games have to do when they start adding more when the rosters get bigger. Is like you have to add more passives, you have to add more icons, you have to add like more things that stack. The ability descriptions get longer, all that sort of stuff. Like, so the game's going to get more complicated and more cluttered. So, um, I'm curious what a conversation with somebody who comes into this game a year from now is going to sound like when. I mean, we're getting a new character every month now, right? So it's like
Oh,
we're getting 12 characters a year. Yeah.
that's again value. Going back to value one more time. That's amazing.
And it's distributed value, right? If I'm paying $9.90 for the summer event, right? But I'm not having to pay. How much is a new character in Apex?
So the red currency is like you just rack it up so easily that if you've played for any amount of time, like you've got it. But if you're coming in fresh and most of the characters aren't unlocked yet, I don't remember how much you'd have to spend to start getting this. But it adds up. If you want all the characters, it adds up. If you don't want to take the time to just earn them, and
Yeah.
it takes a little bit.
So and look, I'm the last person I think to be like a corporate shill. Like I'm not going to sit here and apologize for NetEase's monetization or whatever, but I just don't think like everyone's so averse to having to spend anything on a game that they're dumping hundreds of hours into, and I'm just not about that life. Like, and so I'm gonna give credit where credit's due, and I'm gonna shit on decisions when decisions are meant to be shit on, but it's distributed value. Like if all the money that I would otherwise have to spend on having to unlock every single character in a game is now kind of hyper focused inside of these like cosmetic only uh events, that feels so much better to me. And it makes me want to stick with a game for the long haul because if I ever get to a point where I don't want to spend any more money, I can keep playing the game, and that's fine. NetEase isn't going to come knocking on my door and being like, well, I guess you can't. I don't feel punished, right? Like shame,
Yeah,
shame. You can't play the new characters now, I guess.
yeah. I can count on one hand the times I actually bought with real world money skins in Apex Legends. Uh, I've already matched that number in Marvel
Yeah.
Rivals.
All right. Well, Larry, think that's going to do it for this episode. I appreciate you hanging out with me once again. But before we get out of here, what are you going to get up to this week in Rivals? What do you want to try to accomplish in game?
I'll claw my way out of silver and into gold. That shouldn't be hard. And I guess I don't really have very many goals. I'm going to play with you and Seth and have a good time. And if they ever enable cross play, I will become the sweatiest tryhard you've ever seen in that game. But right now, I'm just kind of stuck in the quick play world if I want to play with my friends. So,
yep. Cool. Well, I guess I need to decide on who my next Lord is going to be. I mean, I'm pretty close to my Lord Moon Knight.
Have you considered Jesus?
No. What season did he come out?
He's got a resurrection power like Adam Warlock.
Born again. But no, I'm really close on Cloak and Dagger, and I'm really close on Moon Knight. I'm really close on Magneto. So probably not Moon Knight. Moon Knight I haven't played in a long time. He used to be my tilted. Like I'm tilted because there's 4 DPS on my team. I'm just gonna go Moon Knight. Now Hella's I'm tilted. Now I'm just gonna play Hella. So yeah, I'll probably just decide on my next Lord. I'm gonna try to get to gold in rank this week too, because I want to get the skin, and then yeah, I might end up depending on the price of this Fantastic Four bundle, I might end up buying that as well. But all right, well, let us know in the comments what you think about the monetization, about the new Human Torch thing, team up, about the new First Step skins, about the player base, anything we talked about. What are your goals and rivals this week? Seth is back with us next week, but Larry, appreciate you hanging out with us this week. Also, let us know in the comments if you want Larry back again. If you don't want to see him
or if you
again,
want me to stay away. Yeah.
Not only will we not invite him back, I know where he lives. We'll make sure he never appears on another podcast again, guys. Don't ask how. But all right. Larry, thanks again. Love you, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
All right. We're going to get out. Good luck in your games this week, and goodbye.